every light casts a shadow. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 terrible episodes that almost ruined great TV shows.
I kept this story short and to the point, and you guys still missed it.
Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at episodes that mar the reputation of otherwise excellent TV shows, and have, to some degree, tarnished how viewers see the series as a whole. For the record, we're not saying that these episodes are totally without redeeming qualities, but we will be focusing on their negative aspects for this list.
Not as bad as I thought.
Also, these are not necessarily episodes that jumped the shark, as we've already done a list of those moments. And naturally, a spoiler alert is now in effect. Number 10, the one in Barbados, Friends. The finale of Friends' 9th season. This two-parter is the point at which some critics and fans believe the show was starting to run out of ideas.
I had to pull some strings, but I was able to get everyone passes to the entire conference. That's right.
The episodes feature not just a love triangle between Phoebe and her suitors Mike and David, but also a love rectangle between Ross, Rachel, Joey, and Charlie. Although the former is arguably more interesting.
Oh my God, Mike!
It's David, actually.
The latter is a major focus of both episodes, culminating in Rachel and Joey starting a relationship, one that was destined to be brief due to the characters' limited chemistry. And yet it has slightly more mileage than all the jokes about Monica's hair, albeit barely.
All right, I don't want to alarm anybody, but Monica's hair is twice as big as it was when we landed.
Number 9, Last Days of Summer, Friday Night Lights. Following up a critically acclaimed first season can be tough for any show, and Friday Night Lights certainly fumbled the ball with its second season premiere, Last Days of Summer.
Honey, I think my water just broke.
While it does a nice job showing the fallout from the events of the previous season, things go wrong for a lot of characters, particularly Tyra and Landry, whose altercation with Tyra's stalker leads to the stalker's body going in the river.
Tyra, we can't. We can't.
What else are we gonna do?
This in particular set off a season-long investigation arc, which feels inconsistent with what the show had been, and what it would go on to become.
I'm glad he's dead.
Number 8, The Great Divide. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar saw mercifully few duds over its 3-year run, but this one stands out as the worst of the bunch.
These people are fleeing the Fire Nation, aren't they? Gotta make sure we can't be followed.
The plot sees Aang and company decide to help two bickering rival clans migrate through a canyon. Most of the runtime is devoted to arguments, both among the feuding groups and within the group of heroes. In the end, Aang resolves the clan's differences by lying to them, a decision that really doesn't match his character, and acts as a really weird message to end on.
That's some luck you knew Jin Wei and Wei Jin.
You could call it luck, or you could call it lying.
Overall, The Great Divide adds little to the plot or the characters, making it an easy one to skip.
I suppose it's time we forget the past
and look to the future.
Number 7, Black Market, Battlestar Galactica. This reimagined space opera series incorporated a lot of different genres, but this episode featured one that it did not pull off well: noir.
What are you doing here, Captain?
I was about to ask you the same thing.
The episode sees Lee Apollo Adama investigating a black market that has somehow sprung up in a fleet with a population smaller than an average city. Besides the glut of plot holes and narrative conveniences, trying to turn Galactica's resident heroic pilot into a gritty detective for an episode just didn't fly.
Our people will do whatever it takes to get this under control. And it's good to have you back, Madam President.
Noir in space can work, but it doesn't work here. Even series creator Ronald D. Moore has called Black Market a disappointment, but at least he could admit when they fracked up.
There's lines you can't cross, and you've crossed them.
Number 6, Freefall, ER.
I wanted to use the carving knife. She made me use the other thing.
It's from Germany.
Any show on the air for 15 years is bound to have at least one bad episode, and Freefall is one of ER's worst. The crux of the episode's awfulness lies in the departure of Dr. Robert Romano, a generally unpleasant man.
Yeah, get your ass back inside, sit down and admit, and do not move until I come get you.
Romano did have other sides to him, and had even received something of a karmic punishment when he lost his arm to a helicopter blade. His death, however, is just cruel and unusual. How does it happen? Why, a helicopter crashes on top of him, of course. The writers had already made the character two-dimensional by the end of his run, but did they have to make his death just as cartoonish?
You want a coffee? I'm not in the club. I got an extra. Thanks.
Number 5. Intro to Felt Surrogacy. Community. Season 4 was a rough one for Community all around, and this episode is arguably the low point of a year full of less than stellar outings.
Now, I don't know what happened, but we have to get to the bottom of this.
Intro to Felt Surrogacy shows the study group lost in the woods, during which they eat some berries that make them hallucinate that they're all puppets and swap secrets with each other. While Community is known for its stunt episodes and surreal moments, usually they're in service of the story or characters. But that's just not the case for this bizarre trip of an episode.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle anybody.
Number 4. Stranger in a Strange Land. Lost.
You're not from around here, are you?
Although it was a polarizing show overall, Lost definitely hit a slump during its 3rd season. Some point to Exposé, an episode that killed off 2 fan-despised characters as the show's low point. But many are of the opinion that this episode is much worse.
There will be consequences, Jack.
The flashback focuses on how Jack got his tattoos, while the island storyline focuses on Kate and Sawyer's return to camp, and Jack and Juliet's tenuous position among the others. The episode also answers some questions, like what happened to the people the others kidnapped, while also raising some more.
So, I was hoping you may help me clear up a few of the inconsistencies.
Ultimately, Stranger feels like filler, which on a show this serialized can really kill the momentum. Number 3. Beer Bad. Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Ice water. Nothing on the rocks?
High schoolers and the shows that depict them have difficulty transitioning to college, and Buffy was no exception. The Beer Bad episode depicts our heroine drowning her sorrows in beer after being used for sex by a jerk of a guy.
Smelly head.
However, some magic juju in the beer turns her and her drinking pals into cave people. Although elements of the series' trademark wit and humor are present in the episode, they're a bit overshadowed by the ham-handed warning against drinking and casual sex, as well as the literal dumbing down of the protagonist.
Boys smell nice.
In short, Beer Bad, bad. Number 2. The Principal and the Pauper. The Simpsons.
7 o'clock Friday night, Mother. Time for our weekly silhouette.
In this episode, Principal Seymour Skinner is revealed to be an imposter, who took the name of one of his comrades who never came home from Vietnam.
Up yours, children.
Revealing a long-established character as being someone else can work when done well, but the fact that the town decides to pretend they never learned this info by the episode's end not only rendered any impact it might have had moot, it also made fans and critics feel betrayed, and like the whole thing was pointless.
Everybody look! Herman Tamzarian's back! And he's gonna take over the school again!
Many staffers have called the episode a mistake, but its writer Ken Keeler has claimed it was meant to provoke and satirize fan outrage. Intent aside, the execution had everyone saying, "Dope!"
Well, from now on, you're gonna see a new Seymour Skinner.
Oh, no, we won't.
Yes, Mother.
Before we get to our top pick, here are some dishonorable mentions. Number 1. Last Forever, How I Met Your Mother.
Robin, it's been a major pleasure. Major pleasure.
Few series finales have insulted fans or come as close to ruining the show as a whole quite like this one. Last Forever features the unceremonious off-screen death of the mother Tracy, as well as the divorce of Barney and Robin, whose marriage had been the focus of the entire final season.
If it wasn't gonna happen with Robin,
then it's just not going to happen with anyone.
Both developments were necessary for the final nail in the coffin, getting future Ted together with future Robin, an outcome the creators reportedly decided on halfway through the show. For an episode whose message was that things change, its writers seemed blind to the fact that the show had moved on from Ted and Robin's relationship. For the better.
Let's look at the facts here. You made us sit down and listen to the story about how you met Mom, yet Mom is hardly in the story. No. This is a story about how you're totally in love with Aunt Robin.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.